This video is going to be about the brand new Schrade Gurkha Kukri. Oh yeah. Welcome back to Survival on Purpose. My name's Brian. Thanks for joining me. Like I said, today's video is going to be about the Schrade SCHGK1. Sorry, had to read that. Gurkha Kukri, full tang Gurkha Kukri. Man, oh man. The folks at Schrade were kind enough to send me this so I can show it to you. So without further ado, let's just take a look at the specs on this thing and we'll get to doing some of that kukri stuff. Okay, once again, this is the Schrade SCHGK1 full tang Gurkha Kukri fixed blade knife. This knife features a 12.8 inch blade of powder coated 3CR13 stainless steel, a 5.5 inch TPE handle slabs with finger grooves and a lanyard hole, an overall length of 18.32 inches, and a weight of 1 pound. Knife comes with a woven fabric belt sheath with removable shoulder sling and a leg strap. Okay, so that's some of the specs and details of the Schrade Gurkha Kukri. This thing's brand new on the market. May be hard to find right now, but when it does get available, I'll let you know. But I gotta tell you, as I've said before on some of the other machetes, I'm not a big fan of the shoulder carry type stuff. I mean, this thing's got kind of a shoulder carry strap. It's got one of those pads that slides around on it. Got a leg strap. I've tried it. Let me see if I can back up here where you can see. Maybe you can see if I get up on the log here, don't fall. I've tried it on both right and cross draw. It's just, to me, it's not my thing. But if it is your thing, they give you an option. What's cool about it is, let me show you, and I think they did this due to popular demand. It's also got a belt carry loop on it, and the shoulder strap, it comes off. You take both the straps off, and you've got just a regular leg belt sheath, which to my way of thinking is preferable. And you can see the sheath itself, it's got a nice adjustable snap closure here and a snap closure here, and it's kind of like a lot of kukri sheath. It just kind of, it's one of those slide in and rotate down. And the sheath's lined with some kind of plastic material. So anyway, that's the sheath. Nothing fancy, but it's very functional. The knife itself, let's take a look at this. You see it's got the over-molded TPE handle, so it's a full tang, but it's got the, this is over-molded for padding. And I tell you, it's got enough of a palm swell right here. It really does, feels pretty good. A little, I call this a sharpening choil, which I think is a great idea. Just lets you get really completely to the end when you're sharpening this thing. You're going to want to use like a round rod probably to sharpen this. The one thing that I'm not too thrilled about, they've got their asphalt coating. That's what I call it on here. This really kind of rough coating that I'm not a big fan of. I understand why they do it, but this thing just feels, I mean, it feels like it wants to chop something. So let's get to it. Okay, before we chop anything big, I'm gonna get us a little something to carve on here. All right, well, that'll work. Okay, so I'm not sure what kind of wood this is. I'm not as good at wood identification as I should be. I think it's hickory. A lot of hickory around here where I'm at. So I'm trying to carve us out a little flat spot here, kind of a workplace. Let's see what we got here. All right, so I'm gonna work on a couple feathers here to see. This is obviously not a bushcraft knife. Okay, so honestly, though it carves some pretty feathers here, it's so big it's hard to really control it and to keep the feathers on the stick. But it's sharp. I think it may be the wood, it may be my technique in the wood, not necessarily the knife. Okay, so I'm trying to get I got out of the kind of dry part into the, maybe it's a little bit softer inner core. or at least a little bit less crunchy inner core, down into the inner wood. Anyway. It's a little better now. Okay, so it's kind of about technique. Got some really good curls there, and what I was having to do, you notice, is just kind of just roll the knife down at a really sharp angle, more so than I would normally have to do with like a smaller knife. But that's really the only way I could get enough control on this to keep them pushing so hard. And part of that's the wood, and most of it is probably my less than stellar technique, but it's working now. So of course the next step in this process is, let's see what we get here. Oh yeah, my log's in the way. There we go. All right, so it's fire capable. Can you see me down here? Okay, so this is not an axe, okay? It's a kukri knife, they're calling it. It's a big knife, but it's a knife. And this is a solid piece of wood. I'm pretty sure this is hickory. The bark's gone off of it, and I'm just not good enough to identify that, but this is about as big as you're ever going to need to chop, I think, with a knife. So this is solid, so let's just see how well she does. Got to find the sweet spot on this thing. I just mostly want to see, you know, if it's comfortable and, you know, how well it performs. But it bites really good. Wow. Okay, so once I got the kind of the ergonomics of this particular knife figured out, did a pretty decent job on feathers, on some, I think it's, again, it's hickory, hard stuff, whatever it is. And great job. I mean, this is, even though it's coated, this spine is really, really sharp here. So for scraping and doing the ferro rod and all that, great job. Just absolutely great job. Feels really good in your hand. I got to say, on the chopping, one of the things that, and probably would help if I had gloves on, but that is there for a good reason for chopping. But when a knife is big, that winds up hurting, kind of hurting my little pinky right there. A smaller knife, I kind of two finger it, and it doesn't really seem to do that. But this one, I'm putting more into it. It's got more mass anyway. It was a little uncomfortable on my pinky there, okay? But just, man, it's got a great point on it too, by the way. Look at that. So I think that's it's past, in my opinion, past most of the survival on purpose test. There's really one critical determining factor as to whether or not, you know, this knife's gonna get the thumbs up. By the way, if you saw the Smith & Wesson Tomahawk video, you realize my testing facility is undergoing a renovation right now. So we're gonna make do. Okay, well, that was the survival on purpose initial review of the Schrade Gurkha Kukri. They're calling it a knife. This borderline machete. Final thoughts. This thing did a pretty good job on carving feathers. Once I figured out, you know, the ergonomics of the blade, scraping, do a ferro rod, any of that stuff were really good. Chop's okay. Again, I had a little bit of a finger hurting here, but that could be my sissiness. And it's very well balanced. both in the hand and in the air. So, you know, and the sheath is acceptable. I like the fact that you can take the shoulder strap off the sheath. So, altogether, I give this one a pretty good rating. You know, I like the kukri style. It's a little big, honestly, for maybe for some tasks. It's just I think if it was about this long, you know, maybe a couple inches shorter, it would probably be a lot handier for smaller, you know, fine carving tasks and stuff. But it's actually surprisingly capable for. I mean, this is like a 12-inch blade, you know, so pretty good. I like the fact that it's sharpened all the way down to here. It doesn't have a big choil, because really, you don't really need that. I like the fact that it's got a little sharpening choil there. I don't like the coating. I wish they had the titanium coating on it, the smooth coating. I like that a lot better. This thing just gets grungy and will not clean in my experience. The over molded handle, I kind of like. It definitely gives you a good grip and purchase. I wish it had an exposed tang on the bottom for beating stuff. That would make it a little better in my opinion. But all in all, I think it's a great design Schrade's come out with. And thanks again to the folks at Schrade for sending me this so I can show it to you. I hope this has been helpful. As always, thanks for watching Survival on Purpose. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for clicking that thumbs up, for sharing it with your friends, for watching those ads, and thank you so much for shopping on Amazon through my links. I really appreciate the support. Once again, my name is Brian. You're watching Survival on Purpose. Remember, survival's not an accident, so be prepared. See you next time. Sorry. Well, it's got one of these little plastic clip things. It's a pain in the neck, but the leg thingy.